Hello, I'm Anna from EcoSoya and I'm going to show you how to make a pillar candle using EcoSoya wax. EcoSoya is 100% natural, it's biodegradable and it's vegan friendly, and the bonus is it's really easy to use, so you can be sure that when you're using it you're making the right choice for both you and the environment. Okay, so I'm going to show you what you need to make an EcoSoya pillar candle. You're going to need a set of scales, you're going to need a melting vessel, you're going to need something to melt your wax so your hob at home will be just fine. Very importantly, you're going to need your EcoSoya wax. You're going to need a mould. So this is a metal mould. You can get them in all different sizes. You can get plastic moulds, and it's the same principle as if you were making a wax melt as well. You're going to need some fragrance oil, a pouring jug, a thermometer. You're going to need a wick and some blue tack and something to centre your wick with. I'm using a clothes peg, so you'll have this at home. And that's it, so let's get started. Step one, I'm going to wick my mould. So my mould's got a hole in the bottom. I'm simply going to thread my wick through the hole, and then I'm going to just fold my wick over and I'm going to secure it using quite a liberal amount of blue tack. So you're going to need to make sure that there's absolutely no gaps, otherwise when you pour the wax it'll just go everywhere. So just make sure there's no air holes and it's all completely adhered to the bottom. Step two, we're going to melt our wax. So the first thing I'm going to do is weigh the wax to make sure that I've got the right quantity for my container. Okay, perfect. So I'm then going to transfer the wax over to my melting vessel. I'm using a double boiler, but you can also use a glass bowl over a pan, just in the same way that you would melt chocolate. So I'm going to melt the wax to around 75 degrees and I'm going to keep an eye on the temperature with my thermometer just to make sure it stays as close to 75 degrees Celsius as possible, and we don't go over 90 degrees Celsius for prolonged periods because that can cause discoloration. My wax is now melted and I've decanted it into this pouring jug so we can move on to the exciting part, which is adding fragrance. So I've chosen my fragrance oil, which is suitable for use in natural wax, and I've got about 8% fragrance load here. So I'm just going to keep an eye on the temperature of my melted wax, and when it gets close to pouring temperature, which is 60 degrees Celsius, I'm just going to add my fragrance oil. And then just using my thermometer, I'm going to give it a really good stir, just to make sure the fragrance oil is completely combined with the wax. Now it's time to pour. So I've already wicked my mould, so what I'm going to use is a clothes peg just to centre the wick during the pouring process and also while it cures. I'm just going to pour my wax into the mould. Perfect. In 48 hours, the candle will be ready to be removed from the mould. The wax will contract during this period for easy release. So after 48 hours, you've got your finished pillar candle. You just need to snip your wick and then it's ready to burn. I hope you've enjoyed making your EcoSoya pillar candle, and be sure to tag us in yours on social media.